There may be no greater example of a crapshoot than the NBA draft. The NBA draft has the potential to completely turn around a franchise, but also has the potential to set back a franchise for years to come. The upcoming 2022 draft is going to be another big opportunity for teams in the lottery to revitalize their team. In the upcoming draft, there really isn't a can't-miss prospect like a Zion or a Cade Cunningham, but there's several guys at the top that have a good shot at becoming all-stars. So with that said, here's the third mock draft for 2022 on this channel. With the number 1 pick, the Rockets will select Chet Homgren out of Gonzaga. Chet is a legit 7-footer with agility and perimeter skills that's rare for a player his size. He shoots the 3-ball really well, hitting 41% of his threes on the season, and he also protects the rim really well, blocking nearly 4 shots a game. He also possesses the ability to handle and pass the ball really well for a big his size. Holmgren needs to put on muscle as he's pretty thin at just 190 pounds, but it's pretty common for bigs to need to put on weight in their rookie year, and an NBA training program should get him right. With the worst record in the league, the Rockets need the best young talent they can get, and Chet is a nice high-ceiling prospect for Houston to add to their rebuild. With the number 2 pick, the Orlando Magic are going to select Jabari Smith out of Auburn. Jabari is another big with an intriguing skill set on both ends of the floor. He's an incredible shooter, currently hitting 42% of his threes on about 5 attempts per game. And at 6'10" with a high release point, it's extremely difficult for defenders to bother his shot. He's also flashed the ability to handle the rock and score in the mid-range, but his shot creation skills are still a work in progress. On the less glamorous end, Smith is a standout defender where his size and athleticism allow him to guard multiple positions, crash the glass, and get in the passing lanes. With Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., and Jabari Smith, the rebuilding Magic could become a lanky, athletic team that's really tough to score on. With the number 3 pick, the Pistons select Paolo Banchero out of Duke. He's got an NBA-ready body at 6'10" and 250 pounds, and he has a skill set that should make him a good scorer in the NBA immediately. Duke's offense is built to give Banchero plenty of post-up and face-up touches, and he's absolutely dominant whether it's creating a mid-range shot for himself or driving to the hole. And he's also a good passer, showing the ability to read the floor and punish double teams by finding the open man. But Banchero does need to improve as an outside shooter, as he's only hitting 30% of his threes on the season. Despite this weakness, Banchero should be a very good offensive weapon from day one in the league with the strong potential to become a superstar. Even though I have him at 3 on this mock draft, it wouldn't surprise me if he went number 1 overall. If Paolo Banchero wants to improve his stock for the 2022 draft, then he needs to get in the gym and improve his outside shot. If you want to improve yourself in 2022, then you need to join Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes and members across 150 countries. Along with being a YouTuber, I also want to be a blogger, so I joined Skillshare to take classes on how to build a successful blog. I love Brad Merrill's class on blogging. His course is teaching me many valuable tips on growing a blog, like optimizing my blog posts so that way I can generate more traffic to my content. Skillshare has courses on tons of topics. Say you want to become a software engineer. Skillshare has classes on coding for both beginners and professionals. The point is, Skillshare has tons of courses in a wide range of categories. The first 1,000 people to use my link will get a free month of Skillshare, so don't wait. Skillshare is the place you want to be if you want to invest in yourself and grow your career or business. With the number 4 pick, the OKC Thunder select AJ Griffin out of Duke. AJ Griffin is a small forward who's a dynamic player on both ends. On offense, he's one of the best shooters in college basketball, hitting almost 47% of his threes. He also possesses shot creation skills, whether it's attacking the rim or creating a pull-up jumper for himself off the bounce. On defense, his nice size at 6'6" with a long 7-foot wingspan make him a versatile defender. Griffin is one of the youngest players in this draft at just 18 years old, which gives him a lot of potential to be a two-way stud at the next level, making him a pretty good fit on this young rebuilding OKC team. With the number 5 pick, the Pacers select Jaden Ivey out of Purdue. Jaden Ivey is a 6'4" guard, and he's been drawing lots of comparisons to Ja Morant. Like Ja, Ivey's speed and athleticism allow him to get to the paint at will, and he's an acrobatic finisher where his hang time allows him to contort his body mid-air for smooth finishes at the rim. And he keeps the defense honest because he can also hit from the outside, currently shooting 37% from 3 on the year. Ivey would be a home run pick for the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton has been thriving ever since they landed him in a trade, and he could form an incredible young backcourt with Jaden Ivey. With the number 6 pick, the Kings are going to select Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. In his sophomore season at Wisconsin, Davis has become a dominant player, averaging 20 points per game. He's incredibly deadly as a ball handler, where his nice handle and burst allows him to regularly blow by defenders for strong finishes at the rim. And he's a legit 3-level scorer where he can knock down pull-ups from the outside and from mid-range. The Kings need NBA-ready talent as they're looking to finally end their 16-year playoff drought, and Johnny Davis could be a nice third scoring option behind De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. With the number 7 pick, the Trailblazers select Shaedon Sharpe out of Kentucky. Even though he hasn't played a single game for Kentucky, scouts are still very intrigued by him because of his athleticism and offensive skill set. He's reportedly got a monster 48-inch vertical, which helps to make him a great slasher and finisher at the rim. Some have even compared him to Anthony Edwards. For the Blazers, Sharpe could form an explosive backcourt next to Anthony Simons. With the number 8 pick, the Spurs will select Keegan Murray out of Iowa. Keegan Murray is a 6'8" power forward who's been having a great sophomore season, averaging about 24 points and 8 rebounds a game. He's a physical, dominant player, whether it's facing up and driving to the rim or scoring in the low post. But he's not just an inside player, currently hitting 40% of his threes on 5 attempts per game. Murray is also a fantastic defender, whether it's blocking shots near the rim or guarding the perimeter. His shooting, scoring, and defensive skills make him a very intriguing prospect for the rebuilding Spurs. With the number 9 pick, the Blazers select Tari Eason out of LSU. Eason is a 6'8" small forward who's been recently rising up draft boards. He's a great defender where his good defensive instincts allow him to rack up tons of steals and deflections. He's also a good rebounder, and he can switch onto guards and wing players very easily. On offense, he's good at driving to the basket, and he's also shown potential to be a good shooter. Eason has potential to one day be a great two-way player, making him a nice prospect for the young Trailblazers. With the 10th pick, the Pelicans select Ochai Agbaji out of Kansas. Agbaji has had a great senior year where he's averaging just under 20 points per game for the Jayhawks. He's a lights-out three-point shooter, hitting 41% of his threes on a high-volume 7 attempts per game. He's also very good putting the ball on the floor and driving to the hoop where he's a very good finisher. Whenever Zion gets healthy, the Pelicans could have a big three between him, CJ McCollum, and Brandon Ingram. The Pelicans will need shooters around their big three, and Agbaji could be a nice fit alongside them. With the number 11 pick, the Knicks select Bennedict Mathurin out of Arizona. Mathurin is a really good three-point shooter, and he's also a very good on-ball defender where his good athleticism and nice size at 6'7" with a 6'9" wingspan make him a versatile defender. He's also a strong ball handler and a good passer. Mathurin likely isn't a player that will be a top option on offense at the next level, but his skills on both ends of the floor should make him an immediate impact guy for the New York Knicks. With the 12th pick, the Wizards select Tyty Washington out of Kentucky. Tyty Washington is a 6'3" point guard that can effectively play both on and off the ball. He's a good ball handler that can get to his spots really well and score in the mid-range, and he can also shoot it well from deep. The Spencer Dinwiddie addition didn't work out for Washington, so they're still in need of a point guard. Tyty could be a secondary ball handler next to Bradley Beal. With the 13th pick, the Atlanta Hawks are going to select Kendall Brown out of Baylor. Kendall Brown is a big wing player at 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan. He really brings it on the defensive end, where his size and athleticism make him a very good on-ball defender. He needs to get better as a three-point shooter, but he can score off the ball as a cutter and a runner in transition. The Hawks are great offensively, but have needed help on defense all year, making Kendall Brown a nice fit for them. And lastly, with the 14th pick, the Charlotte Hornets select Jalen Duren out of Memphis. Jalen Duren has a great physical profile for a center at 6'10" and 250 pounds with a 7'5" wingspan. On defense, he's a terrific rebounder and shot blocker, and on offense, he's a good screen setter and finisher at the rim. The Hornets need a good rim-running big man next to LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier, making Jalen Duren a very good fit. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video, but now I want to hear what you guys think. Who do you want your team to select in the upcoming draft? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more dope draft content just like it, drop a like on the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching to the end and have a great rest of your day.